Hey everybody, welcome to today's live session. I'm just waiting for a few people to join and then we can start. Today's live session is going to be all about sex talk, it's going to be sex ed, it's going to be love, it's going to be identity, health. It's related to all the stories that I've posted earlier. So join in and I will quickly be taking Chinar on live with me. And then, I've already made a note of all your questions so we can get to asking those. In the meantime, tell me, how are you all? What's going up? How are you guys? Hello everybody. Okay, I'm quickly going to take Chinar on live and I have all your questions. In the meantime, what you can do is you can ask any questions if you have. We won't be able to answer all your questions, but however many we can, we'll try. And also after this live, I'll be having this saved as an IGTV. So in case you haven't been able to watch the entire thing, you can come back to it or you can watch it as the IGTV. I will also be in the description adding a link through which you can, it will be a link full of resources. So you can have a look at all of those articles and all of those videos. Those are very informative videos that also will continue this discussion. So let's just quickly take Chinar on live and let's start. In the meantime, you can definitely ask all your questions right here on the comments. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Sana. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me here. I can't wait to get this live started to talk everything that we have decided to talk about. I think something very exciting is coming up.
Yes, and just quickly, can you tell everybody about yourself and what you do?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Chinar. I run my own setup called Dress Unstress. You can also follow me on Instagram and any of my other social media accounts. Like I'm there on YouTube, Facebook, and like Twitter and everything. So what I really do is I raise awareness about mental health. I'm a psychologist. I've been a psychologist since the past. I've been practicing since the past 3 years now. So I've had experience working in like different setups, like an old age home, a corporate sector. I was working in Fortis, Delhi. So I recently quit my job, which was like around last November. Oh, it's not that recent anymore. It's been about a year. And I started my own thing. So ever since then, I started Press and Stress because I realized that people, this is where I felt that there was some lacking that was there in India right now about mental health awareness. Like people are, I would like to say that we've come a long way from before. Like before, people wouldn't really like talk about mental health and was considered like a taboo and a stigma. But in my personal opinion, I don't think that exists anymore. Of course, there is a lot of stigma and taboo still. Then let's say like small cities, like tier 3 cities, but people are really becoming open about it. So I'm really happy about that.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, all the work that you're doing, and in fact, everybody after this live, make sure you check out Shanar's profile. You will be amazed at whatever work she's been doing. So Shanar, let's
Thank
quickly
you.
get this started. We have a lot of
Yes.
questions, but we've obviously summed them up. So
All
the
right.
first question is: are condoms effective in blocking the pleasure as well?
Oh, that's a great question. The deal with condoms is that sometimes what happens is a woman could be allergic to the latex of the condom, like the material that we use, like the latex material. So that people could be like allergic to it, that could prevent them from becoming wet as much as they would otherwise be. So that could be an hindrance to achieving the pleasure, and same goes for men, like because they'll be wearing the condom on. So it get a little unpleasant for them as well due to like the entire material of the place and not being able to. It's like because you're not in direct contact and there's like a blockage that is present. So that could be a hindrance to pleasure. So in that way, contraceptives are better in order to achieve like a greater sense of pleasure. However, that doesn't prevent STDs. So which is why condoms do come in.
Yes, absolutely. The next question is, how do we know if the relationship is healthy? This was, in
Oh,
fact,
okay.
asked a lot of times, and a lot of people have this question. So, if you
All
could shed
right.
light on that.
All right. So the idea is that a relationship is not really a relationship only between you and your partner. It's also a relationship between you and your parent, between siblings, between friends. And all of these are considered relationships which could either be healthy or unhealthy. In order to know how can we have a relationship which is healthy is based upon the fact that do I get respect as which I deserve? Does the other person in the partnership respect me which I deserve? Do I respect the other person back as well? It has to be both ways. Respect has to be both ways. And when the respect is there, also, is there space for me, for my individuality?
Right.
Okay, like can I do my own things, or is everything supposed to be joined and done with the other partner? So a
Yes.
place where you have mutual respect, where you can do your own things along with being with the other person. Along with that, there's a mutual form of communication. You can
Yep.
express your feelings, your emotions about your mental health, about your physical health, anything that you've done the entire day. Something very
Hmm.
normal. How was work? Instead of just being like, yeah, work was okay or work was good, instead you can actually talk about it. That, oh,
Absolutely.
like something very interesting came up and this happened and that happened. Increases communication. So when there's communication and openness to be yourself, mutual respect for the other person, that's when we know relationship is healthy.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. And in fact, we're getting a lot of questions right now as you're talking. So somebody
Okay.
quickly just wanted to ask this question. It's a very good question, actually. What do you do when you feel unworthy? Like you hate your own body and you think that no one will ever like you, you know?
Okay. So the first part is that when did you start feeling unworthy? What is it about you? When did you notice this change in yourself? Like, I'm sure that, it wasn't that you were born feeling unworthy. There were certain incidents that could have occurred that made you start feeling in this manner. First, identify that. Then write down about your achievements. In my life till now, what all have I achieved? It doesn't need to be that, I've scored like a 98% and that's the only form of achievement that exists. No, something as
Hmm.
simple as I made somebody smile the other day. That's an achievement. Making somebody
Yeah.
happy. That's an achievement. Doing something for other people. That's an achievement. So think like that. Count on your achievements every single night before sleeping. Today, what is something that I did that was worthy enough of me? So
Right.
that could be a way.
Absolutely. Yes, and that for sure is going to help. In fact, that's something that I do as well. You know, there are times when people go through ups and downs. I mean, this is life, right? So always look at, what good stuff that you have. Focus on that, highlights, all your highlights, right?
Absolutely
Okay.
right.
Right. So the next question we have is somebody says, I'm awkward to show my stretch marks to the guy I am marrying. What should I do on the first night if I'm a virgin?
Oh, okay. Well, marriage is something that is way beyond than just something that is known as stretch marks. Stretch marks, if you are afraid to show a stretch mark, that shows that there's something that you feel a little negative about your own self body image. And where is that coming from? It's stemming from a place where you think that the other person is going to judge me. What is he going to think about me? Whereas if you're getting into a union of a marriage, it's more about emotional support. It's more about mutual trust. It's more about being yourself while being with the other person. So if you're worried about stretch marks, then I would like to say that rethink this entire dynamic. How does he think about me? How do I think about the other person? Do we have that love? Do we have that mutual understanding? And if you do, if the answer is yes, then stretch marks is something like a zero point 0.1 minute second that you need to be think about. It's about who
Yes.
you really are. The real courage is to be in you being raw, your raw self with the other person.
Absolutely true. And besides, as you said, some marriage is something that's it's something. It's like it's a very spiritual, it's a very holy thing. So this shouldn't be something that really affects, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Definitely a huge union.
Yes. Next question is: at what age are we mature enough to be in a relationship?
Okay, that's a great question, I think. I feel that firstly, what is maturity? Let's try to define what maturity is.
Hmm.
When a person is called mature, when they have the courage to make their own decision, and not just having the courage to make your own decision, having the courage to fail. That okay, let's say I had to choose between A and B, and I think A is the correct option. But going further, you realize that A actually wasn't the correct option and B was. In that moment, what do you do? A person could be like, my entire life is over. I chose the wrong thing. No, nothing can be done. Or a person can say that, okay, let me look back. Let me see where I went wrong. Let me learn from my mistakes and come not just choose B then actually choose C.
Hmm.
Learnings of my mistakes from the A and the correct part of the B and then choose C. When you're
Yeah.
at a place that you can do these things, you can focus on yourself and you know who you really are. You're mature enough to be in any kind of a relationship. I have clients who are coming up to me for therapy who are like about like 9 years old. And I would like to say sometimes they tend turn out to be more mature than somebody who's 40-year old and it surprises me. How?
Wow.
They have resilience. They have the ability to stand up and learn from their mistakes. A 9-year old kid. So I would
Wow.
like to say that this kid she's ready to be in any kind of relationship that she wants to be because she can take care of herself. So age is not what defines. The level of maturity and resilience and courage defines.
Amazing, amazing. This is amazing. And this question a lot of people have. I'm sure, like when I was in school, or even I have this question, when is the right age that, I can have a boyfriend and all?
Yeah.
Because it does seem very nice and very cool to have one. And a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons. So whenever you're
Absolutely.
ready, I think that's the best time, as you said.
I do agree with you that, a lot of people do end up getting in for the wrong reasons because a lot of people think of themselves as, like I'm a damsel in distress and a white knight in shining armor is going to come and
Yeah.
rescue me. Well, the
Yeah.
thing is that you are your own white knight in shining armor. You have to rescue yourself. And once you're rescued, that's when you know you can be in a relationship.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. I'm sure it helped a lot of people. Now, our next question is, why is sacrifice a sign of toxicity? Sacrifice.
Okay. So the idea that sign of the reason people end up saying this, that, sacrifice is a sign of toxicity, is because you are not putting yourself first.
Right.
If you're sacrificing, that means you're putting the other person before you, which is why you're sacrificing. So first find out what are my reasons of sacrifice. Am I sacrificing because I want to do this for the other person because I want to save the other person from himself or herself? Am I doing this because find out your reasons for your sacrifice? And if
Right.
your reasons do come out to point out that actually this is something that you're doing it for the other person because you're valuing the other person more than you're valuing yourself, that's when it's a sign of toxicity. But
Absolutely.
if you're putting yourself first and you have your own reasons for doing it, then it's completely a different story.
Right. Right. Right.
It's always that, you need to be first. You need to put yourself first. I know our society is trying to teach us that putting yourself first is like a sign of, it's selfish and you're supposed to go like a guilt trip and road and everything. But you need to know that if you only don't respect yourself and love yourself and put yourself first, then how do you expect somebody else to love you?
Right, right, absolutely. In fact, this is one live session where I myself am learning so much. In other live sessions, obviously it's interesting and it's fun, but I'm more interested in the questions here. I'm just trying to focus on what you're saying, and I'm literally so engrossed I forget looking at the questions.
Thank you so much. Like I said, that, both of us, we spoke about this, that how important it is to actually address these issues and talk about it. So I'm really glad we're doing this.
Yes. Somebody just asked, sometimes for me, I stick to my past and not the good past, but a bad one. And this leads to ups and downs in a relationship. How can I overcome that?
Okay, so that just sometimes when we end up getting stuck in our past about like things that have taken place, if it's with the same partner, it's generally because we actually haven't taken out time to resolve those issues. Taken out time not with the other person, but with yourself. Then let me sit down, let me think what happened. Where did I go wrong? Where did he go wrong? What are the reasons for where we are right now? And what is that bad past? Let's try to define it. Let's try to understand it. And once you have that understanding, that's when I want you to have a communication with the other partner that, okay, this is what went wrong. This is what didn't work for me. And this is what worked for me. In order for us to move forward, this is what I need. Go with a piece of pen and paper. Write down number one. This is what I need for this relationship to work. Number two, number three, number four, number five. If the partner agrees to it and you try to like come down to a compromise or a solution and try to figure this entire bit around, that means he's also ready to work on this relationship, and that's all that matters. As long as people are ready to work upon themselves and are ready to put in some effort, you're good to go. But if the other person says, no, I can't like listen to what you're doing, I can't do this, this is unreasonable for me, or I didn't sign up for this, that's when you know that it's sooner or later this is going to end. So might as well rip the bandage off before, instead of dragging it on and waiting it to reach that level. That's when you know that the other person doesn't want to be in this.
Right. You're absolutely right. In fact, I myself am relating to so many things that you're saying. So thank you so much personally, thank you so much.
That's all completely all right. It's just that all of us, we're all in the same age. We've been through the same thing. We've been through schooling, college, and like making something of ourselves in this world. So all of us, we just have the same issues that every third person has. And that's the whole idea, I feel, of this life, is to actually normalize that it's not just you or me or people putting up these questions that you're the only one who's suffering through this.
Yes.
Every person out there in the street is having the same issues. Like I have people coming for clients. Yes, everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own personality, their own thought processes, and they have their own space that they're coming from. But at the end of the day, when you actually come down to like you narrow down everybody's problems and issues, you realize that it's all the same. We're all same. We all have those same things that we worry about.
Yes, yes, that's so good to hear. It feels nice when you know that you're not the only one. There are other people also in the same boat.
Yes.
Okay, next question we have, and this was something that somebody asked right now as well. How to keep loving oneself when people call your body imperfect?
Okay. If you're getting affected by the fact that other people are calling you imperfect, that means that there's still some work to be done on you. That means that your self worth is somewhere at a low place. Your self confidence is at a low place, that you're actually getting affected by other people's opinions of you. So that's
Yeah.
when you know that you need to work on yourself, on your own self worth, your own self confidence, who I really am. Discover yourself. It's a beautiful journey, just discovering one own self. You could weigh like 100 kilos and be the most confident person about who you are and walk into a room and you could be the center of attention there. Why? Because you are confident in your own skin. And that's what other people wonder that, how is she or he so confident in her own skin? Like what is it that she has that I don't?
Yeah.
That like I think like my body is perfect, I have that perfect hourglass figure, yet I'm not, like people are not getting attracted towards me. It's not my aura that people are attracted towards. So what is it about that person that attracts other people towards him? It's that confidence that a person has in oneself about who you are. So if anybody who is feeling this way, that that getting affected by other people calling you imperfect and things like that, firstly, it doesn't matter. Everybody's entitled to their own thoughts. Everybody has their own opinions. Let them think what they want to think. You do you. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I 100% agree to every word that you said. And I'm sure everybody here is relating to it. Everybody here can, take something away from this live session. Everybody who's watching. And I'm glad to see that people are also asking a lot of questions. And most of the questions we are covering right here. So, just hang on. Also, just want to quickly remind that we will be saving this as an IGTV. So in case anybody misses something, they can go back and watch it over there. So Chinar, our next question is it okay to unlove someone after some time without any reason?
Okay, I would like to say that firstly, what were the reasons of you loving that person? Secondly, unlove. Is it like, are you saying that I dislike the person, or is it you're just saying that, there were some fluttering feelings that you had towards that person that doesn't go away? So this question so let's try to like break it down. Like if it's something like you're trying to say that I absolutely dislike the person, then of course, go back, think. It cannot occur without any reason. There would be certain mannerisms and behavior of the other person that would have made you come down to this conclusion. And if it's just something like, like I had a crush on somebody, like these butterfly, like feelings in my stomach, then, there's just like a crush thing going around, and that's not really love. It's just like a liking towards
Yes.
somebody. So in order to
Yeah.
unlove, because love is a very strong feeling, in order to unlove, go back, think what went wrong, what happened, when did this begin? The day you actually start thinking that that is the day that I started feeling this way, a lot more will make sense to you. You'll be able to decipher your entire situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. Chinar, next question is what is love? We did talk about, unloving someone and, liking and all, but what is love actually?
Love is just another emotion. It's like happy, sad, it's like angry. So it's just another emotion where you experience certain like butterflies in your stomach, and when all of that dies down, it's like initial love. Okay, what is like, we call this honeymoon phase or puppy dog love. That's like when there's a lot of butterflies and stuff. But that dies down. Eventually, what love really is, okay, a love between a parent and a child, a love between two people. What is it that defines love from liking? What is it that differentiates it? Is the fact that when you love somebody, you love them without any expectations in return. You don't want to change the other person. You accept the other person for who he or she really is. When you know you're doing that, you're accepting the person who he or she really is. You don't want to change them, and you love, even there would be things that you don't like about them. That's all right. But you don't want to change them. That's when you know there's love. And it's
That's
just
lovely.
another emotion.
That's lovely. A lot of people confuse love with infatuation or just,
Yeah.
liking somebody just like that. But I think it's important to distinguish, to differentiate between the two and to know when you're in love, right?
Yes. And when you're in love, when you know that you don't want to change the other person.
Yes, absolutely. Somebody just asked a question. Do we go forward with a relationship when you come to know that he has cheated on you when you are kind of emotionally dependent on them?
Could you please repeat it? Can you?
Yeah. Do we go forward with a relationship when you come to know that he has cheated on you when you are kind of emotionally dependent on him?
Okay. Cheating or no cheating. If you're emotionally dependent, get out of it. Work on yourself. Become emotionally independent. And there could be different reasons of the other person's cheating or not cheating. That comes second. That's like the last resort you need to think about. First, figure out that why am I emotionally dependent and invested in this person? Once you figure that bit around, that's when you can actually think about the cheating bit or what do you want to do moving forward with this.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, next question is for someone who is sexually active. Are birth control pills safe with no side effects?
Yes, birth control pills are safe. I wouldn't say that there are no side effects because everybody's body is different and everybody's body has their own way of reacting towards situations, towards certain medications. There are certain side effects like, you could feel like pukish, vomiting, you could like get a little dizzy, you could get develop certain mood swings. So if you do find yourself that you're suffering through these symptoms, like these side
Yeah,
effects, if you're suffering through
yeah,
these side effects, then just visit a gynecologist and get like the brand change. Maybe this brand doesn't suit you, so get it changed. But remember that birth control pills do not prevent STDs. So if you
yeah,
are indulging in a sexual activity with somebody that you do not know, or if somebody is new and you don't know about the history and past, make sure that you're using condoms.
right. Okay. Next question is, what about phone sex? How is it impacting health? Because during the lockdown, I have read somewhere that this has gone up, and
Yeah.
understandably so. So, what do you have to say about that? How does it impact our health?
Okay, so phone sex, I wouldn't say that is something different that would impact our health, like specifically, but at the same time, anything of too much is unhealthy for us. A balance needs to be struck everywhere. So make sure that that's what you're doing, and also indulging in safe cyber sex because you need to feel completely like you need to know who the other person is. You need to make sure they're not recording it or taking any pictures of you because cyber security is a main question that is put here. So when it comes to physical health, yes, anything of too much is bad, but be aware of this entire cyber security business and that
Yes,
you can
absolutely.
completely trust the other person. And if let's say that today you're not in the mood to do it, say no. You can always say no. And a no is a complete sentence on its own.
Yes, absolutely. And this is something that a lot of girls, need to learn how to say no,
Yeah.
because I feel a lot of them just they come under pressure and they just, go with the flow. But saying
Yeah.
no is so important.
So important that in fact that, I have to, this is a lot in therapy that I've realized that when I have to teach people how to say no, they're always trying to come up with like an excuse that, like, no, why do I want to say no? Because like I can't do this or like things like that. You don't have to give a reason for saying no. A no is a complete sentence on its own, and that's all you need to think about and nothing else. You don't feel like it, that's all right. Stop, don't give any reason, just say no. That's it.
Absolutely. Yes. It's a very powerful exercise to learn how to say no, and it's very, very important.
Yes.
Okay, next question is, when is the right time to have sex? I know people say whenever you're ready, but still, I want to know.
Okay. Like we've spoken about this before, that when is the right time to get into a relationship, depends on maturity. That even if let's say that a few years later I end up regretting it, let's say that I end up losing my virginity to somebody,
Hmm.
right now I might think that it's all right and it's okay, but few
Hmm.
years later ask yourself, will I regret this? And if I do regret this, how will I feel about it? How will I deal with this? And if I wouldn't regret it, then you have your answer on your own. So always ask yourself, am I ready for this? Am I physically ready, emotionally ready, mentally ready for this? And if a few years later, in retrospect, if I do regret, will I be okay? And if I'll be okay, then you have your answer.
Yes, absolutely. And one question we have is how to be happy always, despite all the circumstances, and how to not get affected by what people say. And does being positive from the mind, does it resolve all the problems? There's a lot of
Okay.
questions, so let's break it down.
Okay. So the first question was that how can I always be happy, right?
Happy. Yeah.
So firstly, we're using the word always here. always, cannot. These are things, it's a lot of black and white thinking, which actually encourages a lot of anxiety, develops a lot of anxiety in us. Whenever we apply a lot of black and white thinking, like either or, neither nor, always, you always do this, you never do this. So things like that, they develop anxiety in us. So yes, it's not like we can always be happy, because God's given us a lot of different emotions to feel, why not feel all of them? Feel angry, feel sad. It's all right to feel these feelings. But how to remain positive despite of things that are occurring in your life? Remember your self-worth. Remember that this too shall pass. Things will get over. I have been through things in the past and I have gotten over them. I have overcome them. That means that I have resilience. I have to focus on my resilience. I have to focus on my achievements, my self-worth, my self-confidence, and just this, that this too shall pass. And I can do this.
Yes. Besides, if we don't face the bad times, how will we value the good times, right?
Very good point. Yes, absolutely right.
Yes. Okay, so the next part of this question, let me just 1 second scroll all the way up. I think it got lost in so many questions we've been getting. Yes. How to not get affected by what people say.
How to not get affected by people say, like I said, if you're getting affected by what other people are saying, that means that you haven't worked upon yourself, your own self-worth, and you haven't discovered who you really are. The minute you discover who you really are and what you're capable of in life and how much you can achieve and how to become the best version of yourself, you wouldn't care about what other people are thinking about you. You'll maintain your boundary. It's
Yes.
all about you.
Yeah. And being positive from the mind, does it solve all the problems?
Being positive from the mind. See, okay. The whole idea is that there's a situation. Now, the psychologists teach us that the way we think is the way we feel, and the way we feel is the way we behave. So let's say somebody ends up slapping somebody. That's a behavior, which is the last resort. Inside, first he felt something which was coming from a place of what he thought.
Yeah.
And our thoughts are dependent on our perception. How do we perceive a situation? So if we perceive a situation negatively, our thoughts would be negative. We'll end up having feelings of anxiety and nervousness, which will make a person behave in a certain manner. If we perceive the situation in a positive manner, we will have happy thoughts. We'll have good feelings where our needs are being met, and our behavior would be entirely different. So it's all on the perception, how we perceive a situation.
Right, absolutely. And one question is, what should one keep in mind when coming out to friends and most importantly, family, or your parents, how to go about it?
Okay, this is a very, very good question. I've been working with a lot of LGBTQ community. I actually raised an awareness on my page recently on LGBTQ community where I asked where people came up to share their stories with the world. And from what I've learned from working in this entire dynamic is that it's very brave to come out to friends. Yes, they're of our same generation. They've had the same understanding, and somewhere they do understand and are ready to and they do accept you for who you are. Parents, even though they accept you for who you are, somewhere the societal pressure created in their mind gets a hindrance in them to actually accept you for you. So know that it's not that they don't love you. They love you. You just, when you do come out, you need to give them a little time to digest everything. Remember that time is the key. Do not go with that expectation of being accepted in one go. If you are, that's brilliant. That means your parents have a good understanding of the situation. But if not, know that they just need a little time to digest this, because in their mind, they don't, now suddenly you don't fit into the entire world they had created for their own children in their mind. So it'll take a little time for them to adjust to this new universe. Just like how when you came to your own understanding about your own sexuality, I'm sure it took you a little time to understand, or even if it didn't, it was still a part of a new universe and you took time to digest everything that was going on and how to go forward with this. Just like that, you need to give them time. And know that if things do end up getting really out of place, before you end up going to them, have a contingency plan in hand. Have some finances with you. Have a place of a friend or somebody where you can go and crash to if things tend to get really bad. But know that this is completely the last resort that you need to take, but be prepared for it.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's very important, and whatever you're saying is definitely going to help a lot of people. A lot of people,
I
like,
hope it does.
you're not just giving, you're not just advising people to think about it or talk about it. You're actually giving them very valuable advice that is, it goes to the ground level. You're telling them what exactly to do. So that's great.
Thank you. I
One
really hope it
question.
helps people. Yes.
Yeah. One question is, should we stay in a relationship if we know it's tough to marry the guy because of parents, relative, etc., or should we just fight for it?
Okay, know your reasons. Are you the only one who wants to fight for this relationship? If yes, your partners are ready to fight for it, get out of it. He's not worth it. Are both of you ready to fight for it? Yes. What are our reasons? Can we do this together? You need to be prepared for a way that maybe that you don't end up getting financial support from your family. Can the two of you support yourself financially? If not, have a plan in hand. How can we support ourselves financially? Be at that place and then go fight for it. If there's love, you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't love you or who you don't have that kind of understanding with. It is difficult to find that kind of connection. If you have that bond and that connection and both of you are ready to fight for it, both of you have a financial setup in mind, you have an emotional connection and a physical connection, there's no looking back. And at the end of the day, your parents, your relatives, they do want to see you happy. They don't want to see you sad no matter what. So somewhere, even though it'll be difficult, no matter what the situation is, they will eventually understand seeing how happy the other person makes you.
All right, we have a question. How can one get out of a blame game?
How can one get out of a blame game? Okay, so know that if somebody is like blaming you for things constantly again and again, you need to stand up for yourself. That like this is not me in this situation. Try to explain it. Try to communicate this. If this communication doesn't work, you don't owe anybody any explanation anyway. Get out of it. If they're not ready to understand you for who you are, they don't deserve you.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, let's just take two last questions because we're just
Yeah.
taking up a lot of, and there are so many questions. I'm sure we can't take up all of them. Plus, a lot of people are also sending DMs that are showing up as questions right here. So we'll take up two last questions, and one of them is how to deal with a relationship that has constant fights and you can actually see it breaking. How do you maintain your own sanity then?
Okay, in this situation, know that take a little time to yourself. Sit down, introspect what is going wrong, self reflect, then write down pros and cons of being with this person. What do I need in order to make this relationship survive and last? Then go to the other person. In fact, before writing your own pros and cons, talk to the other person and ask him to make his own list. That okay, we're constantly fighting with each other, something needs to be done. Let's sit down on our own, introspect, and then self reflect. Write down what is it that he needs in order to make this work, what is it that she needs in order to make this work. Then sit down together, discuss it out, communicate. And if both of you are ready to work upon these things that both of you need with each other, you're good to go. What else would you need in life?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a wonderful, wonderful answer. And let's take up our last question for today. And after this question, if anybody still has, any questions and they want to get in touch with you personally, can they directly send you a DM? Can they book a session with
Yes.
you? How do they go about that?
Yes, they can directly send me a DM. Otherwise, they can visit my website. It's called www.pressunstress.com. Or, if they want to book a session or anything that they want to do, they can DM me or they can write on my website and I'll get back to them.
Perfect. That's perfect. All right. Last question we have is, how do we make true friends? Because, especially in school and college, this becomes very difficult because some people just be friends with you for their own selfish reasons. And then, of course, when you start working, then this problem increases tenfold.
Yeah,
So how do you find true
absolutely.
friends?
Okay, first point. Am I being true to myself? Am I letting other people take advantage of me or take me for a ride? Or am I taking other people for a ride? Figure this around. First, focus on you. How am I as a friend? How am I as a person? Then, see, am I respecting other people? Are other people respecting me? Do we have our own space to do our own things? Do I constantly feel like I'm in pressure when I'm around them to do certain things? Or do I have the liberty to be myself? If you can be yourself and you let the other person be themselves, that's when you know you're in a true friendship.
Yes. That's amazing. And I wish somebody had told me this, when I was in school or when I was in college, because it is something that's very important, right? To have like lifelong friendships, to have people who are there for you no matter what, who are your support system.
I
Right.
wish when I was in school, I wish I had this understanding myself.
Yes. And I'm sure a lot of people would obviously relate to this and they would take something away from it. So, Chinar, thank you so much for, talking about such important issues and things that we need to address, right?
Thank you for
Thank
having me here, Sana. This was great. I mean, I feel like we should do this again.
Definitely, we should do this more often. And once again, this video will be saved as an IGTV for all those who just joined. So in case you missed anything, you can watch it as an IGTV. We will also be sharing a list of resources. I'll put that in the description box. So, if you want to read more about this, you can. And definitely visit Chinar's page after the live stream gets over. I have obviously tagged her on my story. I'll also be tagging her on the IGTV. And do follow. And if you have anything more that you want to ask or talk about, you can DM her, right?
All right. Thank you, Sana. Thank you so much for having me here. This was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, Chinar. See you.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. And I really hope you guys took something away from this live session. Definitely, we couldn't cover all the questions, and because we had so many, right? I wish I could cover all your questions. But if you still want to ask something, you can directly reach out to Chinar, or you can DM me, and I will ask those questions on your behalf if you still want to remain anonymous. So that's it. I think we have successfully helped a lot of people. So Chinar, thank you so much if you're watching this. A huge shout out to Apurva and Muskan for organizing this. I am going to see you guys very, very soon. Stay tuned and please stay safe given the current situation. And yeah, take care of yourself. And thank you so much for tuning in today. Bye bye.